Okay, here we go. So these first couple of fights, I think are really interesting. I'm going to pause it so I can explain a couple of things I've been thinking about already. Um, these first couple of fights show a really good classic example of like parry riposte. So you'll watch as they test each other's blades. We'll go ahead and get started. As they test each other's blades, where are you? Where are you in space? That kind of stuff. Couple of little strikes here and there, mostly 3 and 4 blocks or variations there. Just that was 3, 3, 3, right? Test, 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 stab. So just really classic sword conversation and striking. Edward gets the first one, and Velkhana gets the next one. I like what he did right there. So let me show you what he did. Do it on half speed. Okay. Rewind just another couple seconds here. Nice 3 block. Oh no, that's the last kill. It was a good 3 block. It just didn't go far enough. Nice forward step from Edward. That's what got him the kill. He pushed through with that nice little hippity hoppity step forward. 3 block. 3 block again from Edward. Nothing, nothing through space. I like that Velkhana tapped down to see where Edward's sword was right there. Just checking on it. Sorry, it only goes back by 10 seconds. So you have to watch it all over again. Three block, Edward's 3 block. Nothing, nothing. I like that they both like dodged their heads because they knew the shot was going to come in down there. Velkhana checks for Edward's sword. Pushes him offline. So he throws Edward's sword just enough offline that he can come back in with a nice overhand shot right here. And bam. Side of the head. Beautiful shot. Very nice. I like it. Okay, we'll bring the speed back up again. There we go. So nice parry riposting, 3 and 4 blocks classics, and then we just kind of get into the bread and butter of their little fight styles here. Multiple attacks wins the day for Velkhana on that one. Keep going. There. Okay, that was one I wanted to talk about too. So we've been talking the last couple times, I don't know how much you guys have been watching, but last few times we've been talking about how to gain dominance. So this is a really fun one that, hang on, let's see if we can. That's the last kill. Multiple shots wins the day. Okay, come back for this next fight. Okay, they're there. Okay, so you can see that Edward starts with his sword a little higher, but then Velkhana is just going to be tapping it down like this. And then as soon as he feels like he can be faster, bam. Nice strikes. I liked Edward's return shot. I don't even know who got the kill on that one. I think Velkhana got it in first. And the reason why Edward's not dead there is because the blade got stuck in his sleeve. It's not because he's being dishonorable. Oh, where it's still here. Bring it back up. Okay. Normal speed. I have to slow it down so I can actually see the kill shots. I didn't see anything on that one. Here, I want to talk about this one because I was noticing here a difference in stances, how one carries oneself. So if you watch Edward when he fights, normally people will square off. Sorry, that's a terrible line drawing. Normally they'll square off toe to toe, right? But you can see that they're not. If you draw a line straight across the screen like that, you can see that Edward is actually beyond that center line. That's a habit of his, which I find interesting. So he steps further offline. And another thing you'll notice is that there's a larger gap here between his arm and his hip than most people. He still likes to have a nice angle on his arm. This is in mid sword testing, so it's not perfect, but usually that's where it is, which I find interesting because he leaves his chest a lot more open than many fencers. I mean, you can even see he's leaving it more open than Velkhana. Look at Velkhana's arm here. It's his tips of his fingers are like almost to the center of his neck. So he's covered up and down with his arm there. And his elbow is a lot closer into his body. His sword is further across his body. And so he's shut off here in the middle. He's closing that gap in the middle. While Edward likes this nice open stance and even further. which to me, like if I look at that, if I want to break down a fencer, that means the strike is dead center every single time. But Edward doesn't die that way very often. Not down the center. His block 3 he has a very, very powerful block 3. So it's just something that I noticed. It's neither here nor there. Just if you want to fight Edward, just notice that that's what he's doing. Nice shot. Very nice shot. I also think whenever we do these recordings, we should make people fight in between tables like this because I don't have to chase you with the camera. That was a very honorable call on Edward's part. Nice. Nice. Oh, go. Yay. Multiple strikes wins the day. Let's watch that again. I like this fight. When we talk about multiple attacks, highs and lows, highs and lows. And we just keep going until somebody's dead. I just feel like that's a really brilliant play on Edward's part. Don't give him time to retreat. Keep on top of him. It's really good. Yep, this is the fight. This is the fight. We'll watch it. I won't say anything. And then I'll go back and make you watch it like 10 times with me. Here we go. Here we go. Tink. Okay. This is my favorite fight of this entire set. Oh, I love it. If you want a master class in how to gain centerline dominance, that was Edward right there. Okay, so they're going to set up. Edward's going to do his thing where he's one step further this direction than you'd think. Okay, and then he's going to slowly, triangularly, circularly, I don't know how you say this, he's going to come around the center line this way. And if you'll watch, when we talk about like coiling or bunching or tightening up, you'll see Velkhana do that. Okay, so we'll go through really slowly so you can watch this whole thing. Okay, square off. Edward's just a little bit further out. Okay, he takes one step, just a tiny little step here. Still doing that testing of swords and all that. A little bit further. Doesn't like that line of attack, so he's going to come around. He's going to start to circle this direction. A little further. Okay, at this point, look at where Velkhana's forward toe is. It's so far. But now look, Edward has changed his guard. Look at his arm. He's super guarded because he knows he's extremely vulnerable to this strike. But you know who else is super vulnerable for this return strike? Velkhana. It's such a good look at it. He's exposing himself to a modicum of danger, but he knows he's out of range, Edward does. So he knows Velkhana can't get him unless he takes multiple steps, and by that time, Edward can be out of there. Okay? So he's going to take a couple more steps, just a little bit. Edward at this point, I feel like, has like 70% of the center line dominance. Okay, and then right there, we're going to go back. Sorry. You're just going to have to watch this whole thing again. Speed it up just for a second. Because I wanted you to look at Velkhana this time. Okay, so we're circling. Still going. Okay, now watch. Okay, right here, you're gonna start to see the center of Velkhana bunch. Okay, his toe, by the way, is still generally speaking pointing this direction. He's not really pointing directly at his opponent, which is probably where he should be pointing, but that's okay. He can sense now, you can tell just by the way, the tension in his body and the way that he readdresses, is he can sense that he's in danger now. He's like, oh, it's getting serious. This back leg is going to take just the ever so slightest step. You're going to watch his entire hip line like come down ever so slightly, but he's bunching, he's coiling up. And it's not from like a preparatory step. He's not getting ready to spring. He knows that he's in danger. Okay. Then his next reaction to that danger, he's going to point his sword at Edward just to try and scare him off. Look, there's that step. There's the step. He's going to point his sword at Edward to try and scare him off just a little bit because he knows he's in danger in a second. But I want to talk about this too. Okay. So this is kind of fun. Edward's making this side to side motion with his head, and he's just mathing is what he's doing. It's so fun to watch. I don't even know if he's doing it consciously. I don't know if any fencer does it consciously, but you can kind of see him just tipping forth, his head back just to try and see, do I have dominance? Do I have dominance? Do I have dominance? Bam. There it is. Oh, I just love it. I just love it so much. Okay, we're going to watch the whole fight again. Half speed. This commentary is going to be like so long because I'm obsessing over this fight. Steppy, steppy, steppy. One more. Fierce step right there. All bunched, all coiled, slightly lower. Do I have the fight? Do I have the fight? Bouncing head back and forth. Da-da-da-da-da. Now scare him off. Velkhana, scare him off a little bit. Nope. Bat that sword away. Bat it away. I love it. Okay, so I think we have like maybe 3 or 4 more fights after this one, and they all go really, really quick. It's all these one strike type of fights. Yep. Nice headshot. Again, what they're doing is they're just finding that center line, and they're just like, nope, I have more, and strike. And Velkhana had it that time. He just pushed Edward's sword away just a little bit. I love that they both look at me. What? 3 or 4 more fights here. 2 strikes in. Nice shot on the shoulder. It was a staple shot through Edward's shoulder. Nice and clean. Velkhana's point work is really quite good. He puts that tip right where he wants it to be. It's impressive. Again, through the shoulder. 2 staples in a row. That might be something that Edward that you could focus on, is how to protect your arm a little bit better. Shoulder is like the hardest point, I think, to protect, because it's just, I don't know, it's hard. Ooh. Again, through the same spot. There it is. Okay, so I really like these fights because they show both the speed of the fencing, but also the parrying, riposting, and the gaining of dominance. Both the center line and the up and down space. You can see it from both fencers. So this is just great fights all around. Pretty evenly matched. Recommendations for everybody, but in this case for Velkhana, point your toe at your opponent and don't give them more of your body. So square off against them and get dominance of the line intentionally and like from the outset. Still, tip work, really good. You knew where your sword was in space all the time. You took advantage of opportunities when they presented themselves. It was fantastic. Edward had some really nice, clean, not overdone presses in there. So like multiple attacks, but not charging in and getting on top of somebody. There were no tangles in there, and that's because of Edward's reserve. Not reserve, that's the wrong word, but restraint. So Edward's restraint kept them from tangling over much, and his tip work is also really good, but he mastered that center line. Like, if I had to pick a fencer in this fight that was like, who has dominance most of the time, it was Edward. So beautiful control of the center line. Lovely to see. Protect your arm because you die there a lot. Anyway, there you go. There's my 2 cents. Thank you.